Hi everyone, welcome to Soulprint Intuitive Tarot. Thank you very, very much for being here. To my new subscribers, welcome. I hope you enjoy the Soulprint experience. And to my established subscribers, well, you know, I just adore you. So thank you so very, very much. Um, so if you saw Monday's video, you know, I was on like a little bit of a rant. um, So today I thought I would look at what the Dems are doing, right? Because we're really good about talking about all the things that the Republicans and 45 are doing that we don't like and that are horrible. But what are the Dems doing about it? So that's going to be what we're looking at today. Um, if you did not get a chance to check out the video that is on the Soulprint Insights channel, um, about the divine feminine energy, I encourage you to do so. The link to that channel is at the bottom of the description box below. So, you know, the Dems are kind, generous, inclusive. They are wanting equality for all. They want to do things in a way that is peaceful. All that stuff is really important and really, really valid. But there comes a time when you sort of have to start fighting fire with fire. Right now, Hakeem Jeffries is so ineffective. Instead of standing up and yelling from the rooftops about what is going on and what is being done, he apparently put out I don't know, a message that said he's willing to sit down or he's prepared to sit down with the president and talk about, you know, why inflation is so high. Are you kidding me? What? It's like it's like somebody who's trying to put a grocery list together and the house is burning down. He doesn't have the fire that is needed. Cory Booker, he has the fire. Jasmine Crockett, she has the fire. AOC, she has the fire. Hakeem Jeffries is a little bit too much in the Nancy Pelosi mold. Now, listen, Nancy Pelosi was amazing and she accomplished a tremendous amount in her long service to the United States. But she came across as calm, but with a back of steel. He comes across as calm and kind of like, "Ah, I guess we'll see what we can do." That's not what you need right now. So I want to take a look at the Dems and see what they're doing. Right now, they actually have a lower approval rating than 45. And his is at like 35% or something. So even though people aren't at all amused with what's going on, they are not seeing from the Democrats, with a few exceptions, what they want to see. And it's time that, first of all, their constituents, so you guys, started to really let them know that it's time to start fighting. You don't need to go low, but you also don't need to go so high that you're choosing to just disregard what's going on. And, you know, we're just going to talk about this. Yeah, you know what? Grocery prices are really important. Yeah, your healthcare is really important. Yeah, your pension's really important. But you're not going to have any of it if none of them are in office because they're not reading the room. They're not reading the moment in time the way they should be, in my opinion. So let's take a look and see what the cards have to say about where the Democrats are going and where they should be going as we go from now until November 2026 with the midterms. Because again, they have the ability to completely neutralize the White House, or they have the ability to not. And as they've discovered from the last blue wave, it needs to be a bigger blue wave, because even though that last one was a big blue wave and we're able to stop a lot, um, it was still tight, still tricky, right? The Senate, there wasn't enough people in the Senate to sort of get stuff done. Here we go. Dems against Republicans, 25-26. Dems against Republicans, 25-26. Dems against Republicans, 25-26. Normally, I would use the word trajectory. I want to see if they have any fight in them. Let's start there. I'm not smiling, I have to tell you. Don't panic. This is the beginning. This is talking to us about where they are energetically right now. Strength. They are relying on the things that used to work. But you know what? We're not in that world anymore, and we're not going back. We're not going back. It's all new rules. And while they may have the high ground morally, they are relying on an energy that is not appropriate for the time. Two of Wands. They're looking forward, but in some ways, I almost want to say they should look backwards and figure out what did and did not work at the last election and what they need to change moving forward. They believe, and rightly so, that right and justice will win. But it can only win if you are using the strength and the power of law and justice. It's not that their hearts aren't in the right place. Their hearts are absolutely in the right place. The problem is that they're reluctant to sort of push forward. They need to look at the Newsoms and AOC and Crockett and Cory Booker. They need to look at that behavior, those attitudes, those approaches, because that is where ultimately their strength lies. It doesn't lie in what used to work. It lies in being forceful and being powerful. The emperor. They need to come across, project, and not just project, but be powerful, resilient, steadfast, firm in what they want and what they're going to do to accomplish it. They're reluctant. They're just holding on to the past. Chuck Schumer, he's another one. He needs to go. There are not dynamic enough leaders in the House or the Senate. And this is the thing. There aren't really dynamic leaders in the Republican side, but what there are is corrupt and ruthless, in my opinion, for entertainment purposes only. They're going to have to start figuring out better how to juggle things, because otherwise they're in for a really, really rough ride. As it stands right now, again, look, 5 of Cups. They're so busy looking at what was lost, they're not looking at what they need to be looking at to push things forward, right? They're only focused on the way things used to be and the way things used to work. And all of a sudden, they don't work anymore. Well, then you have to find a new way to do things. That's where we are right now, folks. I'm sorry if that's disappointing, but let's see. Okay, and just so you know, I am recording this earlier, and so by now we should have the results of the by-election here in Alberta to see if Polyev gets a seat so he can actually, go to Parliament and have a place in Parliament. So I don't know that as I'm doing this, I'm being told that it's going to be a bit of a nail biter, but that he's not going to pull off a win. We shall see. All right. Dems going forward. Dems going forward. Dems going forward. I repeat, there needs to be change. They continue to look to the past as opposed to energetically taking a look at what's going on and figuring out how to push back. They're going to have the support, but only if the voters like what they see. And right now, what they're seeing is defensiveness, right? They're seeing an inability to, what do we have here? The 7 and the 9 of wands. Okay, so they're not communicating their message. It's not getting through. It isn't the right tone. They're going to find their strength. I would not be at all surprised if there was not a change in leadership, and a real push for it, because they're being 5 of Pentacles. They're being left out in the cold. But there is power and purpose. They just need to start working on it. And look at here. The disappointment that they're finally going to deal with and acknowledge and look at. It's going to lead to a complete change, an ending of the way they are doing things and pushing forward in a way that gives people confidence, that makes people think, okay, they're up for the job. They can do this. I like the 3 of Pentacles here. Normally politically, it's sort of about dark money. In this case, it really feels almost like the master craftsman, the original message of the card, right? It's about listening to experts who are reading the room, following the examples of some Democrats out there who are really, really pushing back. And they're not being aggressive or obnoxious. They're simply saying no. Just no. Flat out no. And who are they saying no to? They're saying no to the wannabe king. If they're clever, they're going to be able to tie them up. That then becomes their new strength. It is about them understanding that they're not right now, their energy is not the correct energy. There's not enough momentum there. There's not enough support to push them forward. And it really feels as if it is going to be the people who start really kind of pushing them forward and saying, get it done or get out of the way, right? One or the other. Um, so let's take a look and see where we end up. Dems by midterms, Dems by midterms, Dems by midterms. You know, every card layout I've done in this, the Emperor shows up. Interesting. Okay. All right. Their message is going to start breaking through. You've got the King of Wands here. They're finally going to find that way to communicate that which is, it resonates. They're going to play heavily on the Justice card about the illegality of what is going on right now or what has been going on. They're also going to need to push against sort of how unbalanced things have become and the need to create a more of an even playing field. They're finding their strength. You have the 10 of Cups here. So there is celebration. There is a coming together. There is an emotional resurgence. They're not prepared to go to war. They're prepared to handle things in a way that has power and punch behind it. A way that simply says, no, not anymore. We've had enough. The time of things being backward and low vibration, it has to go. And we're the ones who are going to get it gone. Hierophant. An excellent card for them to get right now, right? Because this is the highest office. And so it feels right now that they can build the momentum to get their approval rating really high and to have the force and the wherewithal to ensure that they are able to control from the highest levels or levers, if you will, of power And again, if you have a strong enough Senate and House, you neutralize completely the Oval Office. And again, I hate to say it, but the Republicans have really proven that they know how to do that really well, right? I mean, oh no, it's a year and a half to the election. You can't nominate a judge. No, let the people do that, right? I mean, they know how to do it. Oh, you want us to vote on something we don't want to? Have a break. Let's go, people. All right. They're going to need to start, and they will, figuring out a way to be firm without stooping stooping to their standards. And honestly, in some ways, they should take a look at how some of the more successful world leaders are handling 45. They're just saying no, and then they're just cutting him out and going around him. They're making him insignificant. And that's where their victory lies. They need to look forward. Okay. They need to read the room because they have the potential. But honestly, they need the support of their constituents. They need to know that the people who vote for them are looking for strength, and then they'll get it. Make no mistake, the heavy lift. Okay, it's a heavy lift. You got the 10 of Wands here. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be wished into being. It's going to take a lot of work, and it's going to take the people really working. It's interesting that there are still protests going on all the time against 45. The people have the passion and the energy. Somehow that needs to get translated to the Democrats. What else can you tell me about where the Democrats are going? Gavin Newsom's style is slowly but surely going to continue to pick up energy and momentum, and you're going to see other governors start behaving the same way or start mimicking or copying that behavior because they're going to realize that it's actually quite effective. It's so fascinating, right? Because it's like they're showing me the people, and the people are in the streets and they're protesting and they're working at it and they're doing everything. And the people in government are just, they haven't picked up their pace yet, but they're going to, because their people are going to say, get busy, get cracking. Never mind this, I'll take a meeting with the president. Maybe we should be a bit more forceful than that. Maybe we should be demanding to know why he hasn't honored not one of his promises, his election promises. Demanding to know, not taking a meeting. The power is with the people. The power is in the numbers. And the power is the people making sure that the reps that they may have who are sleepy wake up. And as I said, it feels very much like there's going to be a push for far more aggressive leadership in both the House and the Senate. I don't see, honestly, a successful path forward for Hakeem Jeffries. I see a Cory Booker, an AOC, the energy of Crockett. And In order for the Dems to actually actualize change, they need a really strong Senate. And either Schumer steps up his game, or there needs to be, or there will be a push to change that leadership. Okay, so where we're at right now is that there is the potential for the Dems to really nail it, to get it done. But it will be the energy of the people that it's almost like the energy of the people is what gives them permission. They need to hear that they're not stepping up to the plate the way people expect, want, and in fact demand that they do. They have everything that they there to work with to create success. So let's move forward and let's create that success. All righty. Questions in the comment section below. Thank you for all the comments, by the way. They're very generous and encouraging, and I truly do appreciate that. I'll see you on Friday for Pendulum Friday. And until then, take care and be well. Bye for now.